Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk about how you can invest into the stock market, into a very safe investment. In this case, Fidelity's money market government fund. Ticker symbol is SPAXX. If you have an account with Fidelity, most of the time your cash or settled cash will automatically invest into this fund. But let's go ahead and dive into the fund and what kind of yields it's currently paying. Jumping over to their website, as you can see, this ticker symbol is SPAXX. The NAV is 1.00. So they do their best. It's not 100% guaranteed, but to hold your value. So that's kind of the idea there. It's currently paying a 4.97% dividend yield, and the amount that you will receive is the net of that after the expense ratio. So, right around 4.5. Let's get the exact number: 497 minus 42, 4.55%. So that is your current dividend yield, and this is also based upon the U.S. Treasury and how they're affecting the general funds rate with that. And if interest rates go up, then this dividend yield is going to go up. So something to consider there. The minimum to invest is $0. So that's definitely right here. So that's really enticing for a lot of investors out there. A lot of funds out there require like $1,000 or $3,000 minimum dollar to invest. But the cool thing about Fidelity's government money market, there is no minimum to invest. So good to know there. And most, depending on who your broker is, most of the time there's going to be no load fee or no transaction fee. So that's really good as well. Back in the day, that used to be a lot bigger of a deal. But so just depends on your broker. Most of the time, you're not going to have to worry about that. So that's good. Good to know there. But you can see it's the breakdown of the portfolio. It's consistent of treasury bills, treasury coupons, treasury strips, and so on. Some fixed asset classes there. Yeah, so here's the average in the return. It's not normally this high, but with the current interest rate market, it's definitely pretty high. Let's look at the composition. Yeah, so like what I was talking about, 10.15% is the biggest holding, and that's U.S. Treasury bills. Maturity distribution 1 to 7 days. The cool thing about this versus like a CD is you're a lot more liquid, in this mutual fund versus a CD where you have to, wait a certain time. You can get your money out of a CD, but it's definitely not as liquid. Like I mentioned earlier, the expense ratio, this is the fee that you have to pay for pretty much, Fidelity going out and buying those treasury bills and just managing the fund in general. Yeah, so typically you're not going to get any capital gains, but it does look like there's 2 distributions in 2009, 2010. Okay. Okay, I think that's probably the most, data I want to talk about. 2 fund managers. He's been a manager since 15 and 20. I mean, it's a pretty simple fund to manage. But yeah, guys, I think scroll down here to the risk. We'll briefly talk about that. The objective of this fund is to seek a high level of current income and a consistent with preservation of capital and liquidity. Normally invest 99.5% of the fund's total assets in cash, U.S. government securities, and repurchase agreements that are collateralized fully. Going on a little bit more there. The risk, it's obviously not FDIC, but the chances of losing your money on this are, much lower. But however, there is risk if the government defaults on their bonds or treasury, different things like that. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. Definitely go check it out. SPAXX. I'm a huge fan for it. I have it in a lot of different accounts. That aren't currently invested, that's just sitting in cash, is definitely utilizing this almost 5% 4.5% dividend yield for a money market. Very low risk. So yeah, definitely go check it out if you're not utilizing a money market account. I mean, if you have money sitting in your savings account making 0.01%, it's kind of crazy. You're leaving money on the table, not to be utilizing these investments. Obviously, not a financial advisor, so make sure you understand the risk of this fund because there is risk, but from my experience and my personal opinion, it's very low. So take that with a grain of salt. Like I mentioned, not a financial advisor. Can't give any financial advice to you guys. Just trying to give you some feedback from my journey. So that's it for the video. Please like and subscribe down below.